Dear friends, I have been teaching postgraduates in English for NET for a long time. And of late, lots of people who are doing their BA or who are preparing for MA entrances, a lot of people who are not yet in their MA course or preparing for NET also started attending our classes. And then I discovered that after attending our classes for NET, they are getting through CUET and similar exams, entrance exams, not only just getting through, but passing with very high ranks and becoming students in the best and the biggest universities in India. That gave me the inspiration to tell my team, Tess, that we should start a coaching program for the university entrance tests. That is how we have this course right now. And I'm so glad that this is a course that will prepare you for so many exams. Our course, our preparation for CUET will help you in your upcoming courses like MA and even to prepare for NET. This will be a proper solid foundation. When I was a student many years ago, many decades ago, we did not study that much in BA level. And even in MA level, syllabus was pretty easy. But now education has changed so much. People who are doing BA course are also learning a lot. And now when National Education Policy 2020 is coming, we will have 4-year degree courses. It is going to be amazing. So right now, the Common University Entrance Test or the Central University Entrance Test is an exam of pretty high standards. And you need to study a lot of topics, not in great depth, of course, but to a great extent. You have to study all the literatures, theories, literary terms. And I'm glad that I'll be able to help some of you. At TESS, we have a group of people who have passed the Central University entrance test and who are studying in Central Universities, who have completed their MA in Central Universities, etc. They are the coordinators of this course. So they are helping us and our students from their own experience. We have collected previous question papers. We have been analyzing the trend in these exams previously. And our team has also prepared an exhaustive analysis of the previous questions. We have topic-wise, subject-wise divided the previous questions. And we find that a lot of questions are coming from Indian literature. And at TESS, a lot of people, research team is there. They are preparing Indian literature topics and quizzes and questions all for the CUET 2023 and also for our upcoming Indian literature encyclopedia. So this is very good information that we will be sharing with you. There are many questions from the 19th century authors like Macaulay and authors like Henry de Rosio and the early writers, starting from the first literary works in English, and also from the independence period writers, the first generation independence writers, award winners, Sahitya Academy Award, Jnanpith Award, also genres. I'm talking all about Indian literature. genres like even the movies, autobiographies, Indian feminism and Indian criticism a little bit, quotations from major authors to check whether you have read, and so on. So that is a very important area we'll be covering. And then I suppose the next important area would be criticism and theory. Criticism and theory questions come from movements, theoretical terms. A lot of questions come from new criticism and the major theorists like Dryden or Johnson or Wordsworth. There are also a lot of terms like T.S. Eliot's dissociation of sensibility or Althusser's ISA, hegemony, Antonio Gramsci's hegemony, principles of comparative criticism or even translation sometimes. So basics of literary theory and criticism is very, very important. That is the proper foundation for any literary studies. Not only theoretical terms, but literary terms in general, important. Lots of prosody, rhetoric terms are also there. Figures of speech, meter-related terms, genre-related terms, etc. So we'll be giving classes based on all this, materials based on all this, quizzes based on all this. And then we have European literature. European literature starting from the Greco-Roman period. I think in the last year they asked about Sophocles, I think. And also European realism, symbolism, major Renaissance European writers. Also 20th century writers like Kafka, Leo Tolstoy, they're all important. And then, of course, British literature. That is a very important area. If you have the Encyclopedia of English Literature, that is more than enough. But in our classes also we'll cover British literature to a great extent. There are questions starting from Old English period. Questions based on traditional writers starting from Renaissance like Shakespeare. There is focus on Shakespeare criticism, Shakespeare's contemporaries. Then 17th century, especially period of civil war and restoration. Then we have the Augustan age questions, Romantic period. All these areas, the major periods are covered in the 2020-2021 exam papers. Also, the nature of the questions. There will be questions, as I told you, from quotes, features of genres, then textual questions based on canonical texts and classics. For example, Robinson Crusoe or Gulliver's Travels or poetry of William Wordsworth, for example, or Coleridge. Also works of Bacon, Sidney, Spencer, all these were there. Some chronology questions can also be expected from British literature. Opening lines questions were there. Who said about whom? Critical statements. Who said about whom? That would be there. And also some understanding of the socio-political and intellectual background. You should know things like Enlightenment, Romanticism, and also 20th century movements and periods, modernism. Sometimes they will check your knowledge of popular literature from the 20th century. Questions based on Harry Potter or some popular movies, etc. can be expected. One area that they do not really focus on, I think, is American literature. But little bit of knowledge is good because in case they ask one question or two, you don't want to miss that. They want you to be updated in current affairs related to literature. Nobel Prizes, Booker Prizes, Pulitzer Prizes, things like that. And also linguistics. Linguistics is also important. So in NET, SET, GATE, and even CUET, what are they expecting? What is the question paper setter expecting of the student? A student should have interest in the subject. General knowledge should be there. Some wide reading should be there. Not just mugging up, but wide reading. And also an understanding of the basics. Very basic questions from genres, literary terms, linguistics, etc. Surely they will ask. Figures of speech. Then a knowledge of the classics. Many questions are based on the classics. Like, for example, Vanity Fair or Catcher in the Rye they asked. I was wrong to say they did not ask from American literature. Actually, Catcher in the Rye question was there. Sylvia Plath was there. They can ask. And also post-colonial literature also. Nadine Gaudimer, I remember, question was there. So even world literature and Latin American, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Margaret Atwood. So they will expect you to know about the industry, like a little bit about publishers, awards, books that were banned, books that were adapted into movies. If you are a person with interest in literature, wide reading in literature, and if you have passion for literature, and also in the exam hall, you do not panic. You think clearly and answer. Then you can easily get into CUET. I'm sure that all my students who are taking the course are people who were reading and preparing. I'm sure that they are not just starting to study now. That is a wrong approach to education. Just before the exam, you study something and pass. That will not work anymore. Such exams are not like that anymore. So it is important that you have a culture of reading. You have a culture of thinking. And very importantly, not only during our course, but even before and after, whatever you read, remember to note down points somewhere, make your own notes, make your own PowerPoint presentations probably, because you should not be forgetting everything that you study. Once you study, it should come to stay. And read more about it. It automatically happens if you are interested in what you're studying. In the past, when I was a student, many people would study just for the sake of passing the exam. That cannot be done now because the nature of exams are completely different. Very analytical questions, basic general knowledge questions, there are many. So it is not predictable to some extent. That is why sometimes exams seem challenging. Because you can't expect, okay, they will ask only from these areas, not like that. And you should have general knowledge. That is why we have paper 1 in all these exams. Paper 1, where you have basic aptitude for mathematics, for reasoning, knowledge about your society. You know, that is why in NET we have people and environment and ICT and all that. All these are extremely important. You know that in GATE also, such questions are there. So we will train you very well in our CUET course. If you just attend our classes and follow our methods, you will definitely get very good marks. But attending a course or mugging up, etc., are not the only things we should do these days, as I told you. in every exam, we should have a research-based objective. In the remaining days, for whatever we study and read, we should read extra, research on our own. That is very important. So with that, I will end this live stream in YouTube. I have to go talk to my students. They are waiting in Zoom, listening to me. I hope this little discussion has benefited all of you in YouTube as well. Thank you very much for being with us and hope to see you in the course.